up when it comes to networking? Ever feel like you're playing catch up? Like everyone else has like figured out the secrets to building an amazing network, but you're stuck just like refreshing your inbox and hoping for a miracle?
Yeah.
Well, today we're diving deep into a study that just might like totally change how you think about the whole network hustle.
It's a fascinating look at how freelancers, they're the ultimate network-dependent professionals,
Yeah.
how they use social media to like build their social capital.
Okay.
That's that network of relationships and resources that can really make or break a career,
Mm.
you know,
That
especially when you're working for yourself.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm all ears. So we're talking about the research paper titled Social Capital Accumulation Through Social Media Networks. And what are the real-world implications of this for anyone trying to build their network online?
Mm-hmm.
What kind of social media platform are we looking at here? Because I'm thinking like, is this just another pitch for LinkedIn Premium?
Not quite.
Uh,
This study actually focuses on a European work-related social media platform. They call it Work SMN in the paper, to keep things anonymous.
Right.
But think of it as like a European cousin of LinkedIn
Okay.
with a very similar freemium model.
I see.
So basic access is free,
Yeah.
but you can pay to unlock premium features that like promise to supercharge your networking.
So kind of like getting a VIP pass to the networking club.
Exactly. But the question is, does that VIP pass actually get you into the right rooms and like chatting with the right people?
Right.
That's what the researchers set out to discover.
Yeah.
They recruited a group of freelancers
Okay.
and gave half of them free premium memberships
Right.
for an entire year.
Okay.
The catch, they didn't tell anyone it was an experiment.
Clever.
Yeah.
So they could observe how people naturally use those premium features, without any bias from knowing they were being studied.
Right.
Okay, I'm on the edge of my seat.
Yeah.
Did those premium memberships actually turn out to be the secret sauce for networking success?
Well, buckle up, because here's where it gets interesting. The results were a bit of a curveball.
Ooh.
Simply having access to those premium features didn't automatically lead to more connections or a bigger network.
Wait, what? Really? You're telling me that shiny premium badge didn't magically transform them into networking superstars?
Huh.
Color me shocked.
That seems counterintuitive, right?
Yeah.
But what the researchers found is that the key ingredient wasn't the premium features themselves, but how they were used.
Okay.
It all comes down to what they call strategic networking behavior.
Okay, let's unpack this. What exactly does strategic networking behavior look like in the real world? Give me the deets.
Think of it this way. You've got a toolbox full of shiny new networking tools,
Mm-hmm.
but you need a blueprint,
Oh,
a strategy for actually using them effectively.
okay.
The freelancers who already had that strategic mindset,
Mm-hmm.
who were actively and intentionally seeking out valuable connections,
Right.
they saw the biggest gains from those premium features.
So it's not just about having the tools, it's about knowing how to wield them.
Precisely.
Okay.
It's about having a clear understanding of your goals,
Mm-hmm.
identifying the right people to connect with,
Right.
and then using those premium features to actually make those connections happen.
So just having a fancy profile and a premium badge isn't enough.
Right.
You actually have to put in the work,
Yeah.
even with all the bells and whistles.
You do.
Are you telling me all those build it and they will come gurus have been leading us astray?
It certainly challenges that notion.
Interesting.
And what's even more intriguing is that the study found that specific types of premium features were far more effective than others.
Okay, I'm hooked.
Yeah.
Spill the tea. Which features really moved the needle?
The real game changers were the active features that allowed freelancers to directly reach out and connect with people beyond their immediate circles.
Okay.
Think like advanced search filters for
Yeah.
laser-focused targeting, and most importantly, the ability to message people outside your existing network.
So it's all about taking that proactive approach.
Absolutely. Those freelancers who strategically use these active features
Right.
saw their networks expand significantly.
Okay.
It's about being the one to initiate those valuable conversations,
Yeah.
not just passively waiting for someone to stumble across your profile.
So those passive features, the premium badges, the profile visitor insights, they weren't so impactful. I have to admit, I've always been a bit curious about who's checking out my profile.
I think we've all been there. Right?
Yeah.
It's like a little ego boost seeing who's peeking behind the curtain.
Yeah.
But when it comes to actually building meaningful connections that lead to real opportunities,
All right.
the study found that those passive features fell a bit flat.
Okay. I'm starting to see the bigger picture here. It's about being deliberate not just decorative.
Mm-hmm.
You need to actively engage with people,
You do.
not just sit back and hope they notice your shiny badge. Makes total sense. So having the right tools is helpful,
Yes.
but it's the strategic mindset and the willingness to take action
Right.
that really separates the networking rock stars from the rest of us.
It does.
But how did the researchers explain this phenomenon?
They came up with a rather elegant term for it: the theory of purposeful feature utilization. Essentially, it highlights that simply having access to advanced tools isn't enough. You need the motivation and the strategy to actually use them to your advantage.
Okay, let me see if I've got this straight.
Mm-hmm.
We're learning that building social capital, those valuable connections that can open doors and create opportunities, it's not about passively hoping for the best.
Right.
It's about being intentional, strategic, and proactive in how you use those tools.
That's the crux of it.
Okay.
And what's fascinating is that this applies whether you're a freelancer on WorkSMN,
Yeah.
a job seeker on LinkedIn,
Mm-hmm.
or anyone trying to build their network in the digital age.
Yeah.
So what does this all mean for our listeners? Should we all be ditching the free accounts and rushing to upgrade to premium? Or is there a deeper lesson here?
That's a great question, and one we'll explore further as we delve deeper into this study. It's not as simple as like premium equals success.
Yeah.
You're right. What this study really highlights is the importance of being a purposeful networker.
Okay.
Yeah, it's about understanding why you're connecting with someone,
Mm-hmm.
not just like adding another name to your list.
I'm starting to see why just having a premium account isn't a magic bullet. It's like having a state-of-the-art kitchen but not knowing how to cook.
Exactly. And this is where the different types of social capital come in.
Okay.
The study measured the impact of premium features on two key types:
Okay.
bridging social capital
Okay.
and bonding social capital.
Okay. Mini lesson time. Could you break down those terms for us?
Of course. Think of bridging social capital as like those connections that span different social groups, people from different industries,
Okay.
backgrounds, or areas of expertise.
Right.
These connections can open up like new perspectives and opportunities that you might not find within your usual circles.
So bridging connections are like those weak ties we often hear about, the people who can introduce us to new worlds and possibilities.
Exactly. Now, bonding social capital, on the other hand,
Okay.
is about deepening relationships with people who are already similar to, you think, colleagues, close friends,
Yeah.
or people in your existing professional network.
Gotcha.
These strong bonds can provide emotional support,
Mm-hmm.
shared knowledge,
Okay.
and a sense of community.
So ideally, we want a healthy balance of both, right?
Yes.
The strong ties that provide support
Mhm.
and the weak ties that open up new horizons.
Precisely. And what the study found is that those active,
Yeah.
outreach-oriented features
Mm-hmm.
were particularly effective at building bridging social capital.
Interesting.
By reaching out to people outside their existing networks,
Right.
freelancers were able to forge new connections that expanded their reach and exposed them to new opportunities.
Makes sense. But how did they actually use those active features to make those connections? Did they just fire off a bunch of random messages?
Not quite. The successful networkers in this study were strategic about their outreach.
Okay.
They used those advanced search filters
Yeah.
to target people who aligned with their specific goals and interests.
So it's about quality over quantity.
Absolutely. It's about finding the right people to connect with,
Okay.
not just trying to amass like a huge number of connections.
But even with the right targets, crafting a compelling message that gets a response can be tricky.
Yeah.
Did the study shed any light on what kind of messaging works best?
This is where personalization is key.
Okay.
The study found that generic connection requests
All right.
or messages that focus solely on what the sender wanted
Yeah.
were far less effective than those that highlighted shared interests,
Okay.
expressed genuine curiosity about the recipient's work,
Mm-hmm.
or offered something of value.
So it's about building a rapport, finding that common ground.
Exactly. It's about treating each connection request as the start of a potential relationship,
Right.
not just a transactional exchange.
I'm also thinking about the psychology of those passive features. I can see why knowing who's viewed your profile might feel validating,
Yeah.
but it doesn't necessarily translate into action.
Right.
It's like getting a glimpse behind the curtain, but not being invited to the show.
That's a great analogy.
Thanks.
It might boost your ego,
Right.
but it doesn't necessarily move the needle when it comes to building valuable connections.
So what's the takeaway for our listeners who might be wondering, should I upgrade to premium?
The answer, as with most things in life, is it depends.
Okay.
If you're already actively networking,
Mm.
if you have a clear strategy,
Yeah.
and you're putting in the effort to reach out to the right people,
Right.
then those premium features can definitely give you an edge.
It's like having a personal trainer at the gym.
Yeah.
They can guide you, push you, and
Yeah.
help you get the most out of your workout. But if you're not showing up and doing the work,
Yeah,
even the best trainer in the world won't make much of a difference.
precisely.
Yeah.
It all comes back to that theory of purposeful feature utilization.
Okay.
Those premium features are powerful tools,
Mhm.
but they're only as effective as the person wielding them.
Okay. Let's say you're ready to level up your networking game and put these insights into action.
Okay.
Where do you even begin?
The first step is to define your networking goals.
Okay.
What are you hoping to achieve by building your network?
Right.
Are you looking for new clients, collaborators,
Right.
mentors,
Yeah.
or simply to expand your knowledge and connections within your field?
So start with the why before jumping into the how.
Exactly. Once you have clear understanding of your goals,
Okay.
you can start to identify the right people to connect with.
Right.
And this is where those advanced search filters can be a game changer.
Okay. Let's get tactical. How can listeners use those search filters to their advantage?
Think beyond just keywords and job titles.
Okay.
You can use filters to target people based on their industry,
Mhm.
company size,
Okay.
location,
Mhm.
specific skills
Yeah.
groups they belong to,
Okay.
even the schools they attended.
It's like having a superpower that lets you zero in on exactly the people you need to connect with.
Exactly. And once you've identified those potential connections,
Yeah.
it's time to craft that all-important message.
This is where I think a lot of people get stuck.
Yeah.
What are your top tips for writing a message that actually gets a response?
First and foremost, personalize it.
Okay.
Mention something specific
Yeah.
that you found interesting about their profile or work.
All right.
Show them that you've actually taken the time to learn about them,
Mhm.
that you're not just sending out a generic mass message.
So no more, I'd like to add you to my professional network messages.
Definitely not. Think about what you would find engaging
Yeah.
if you received a message from a stranger
Okay, so personalized, relevant, and you...
and offer value.
Okay.
Think about what you can bring to the table.
Right.
Can you offer a helpful insight,
Mhm.
share a relevant article,
Mhm.
or simply express genuine interest in learning more about their work?
So it's a two-way street. You're not just asking for something, you're also offering something in return.
Exactly. It's about building a reciprocal relationship,
Right.
not just a one-sided transaction.
This all sounds great in theory, but I'm sure some listeners are thinking, what if I get rejected?
Mm-hmm.
Rejection is a part of life,
It is.
and especially networking.
Yeah.
How do you deal with that?
That's such an important point. Rejection is inevitable,
Right.
but it's important not to take it personally.
Yeah.
Not everyone will be interested in connecting.
Okay.
That's okay.
So don't let a few no's derail your networking efforts.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Remember, every no is just one step closer to a yes.
Yeah.
And the more you put yourself out there,
Yeah.
the more comfortable you'll become with the process.
So it's a numbers game to some extent, but it's also about playing the game strategically and with purpose.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And as you continue to build those meaningful connections,
Yeah.
you'll start to see the ripple effects of your efforts.
I like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
The more you nurture those relationships, the
Right.
more opportunities will come your way.
I love that visual, the ripple effects of connection.
Yeah.
But we've been focusing a lot on the quantity of connections.
Yeah.
Isn't there more to networking than just racking up contacts?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
And one that leads us to an even deeper level of this networking puzzle.
It's easy to get caught up in that numbers game, right?
It is.
Like, how many connections do I have? How
Yeah.
many followers?
Yeah.
How many likes?
Right.
But as you mentioned, there's a whole other dimension to this,
There is.
the quality of those connections.
Absolutely. Having 500 random connections might look impressive on your profile,
Right.
but if none of them are leading to meaningful conversations, collaborations, or opportunities,
Yeah.
then what's the point?
Hmm.
It's like having a bookshelf full of books you've never read.
So how do we move beyond just collecting connections and start cultivating those high-quality relationships that actually make a difference?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it's something this study didn't explicitly address,
Okay.
but it opens up a fascinating avenue for further exploration.
Okay.
How do we define valuable connections
Yeah.
in the context of our own goals and aspirations?
Right.
And how do we nurture those relationships online in a way that feels authentic and mutually beneficial?
Okay. I'm intrigued. What are some of the factors that might contribute to a connection's value?
Well, it might be different for everyone you know,
Right.
depending on your field, your goals, and your personality.
Yeah.
But some common threads might include shared values,
Okay.
complementary skills,
Mm-hmm.
a willingness to share knowledge and resources,
Right.
and a genuine interest in supporting each other's success.
So it's not just about what someone has, their job title, their connections, their influence, but about who they are as a person
Yes.
and how they engage with others.
Exactly. And building those high-quality connections takes time,
Right.
effort,
Mm-hmm.
and a willingness to go beyond superficial interactions.
Yeah.
It's about engaging in meaningful conversation,
Okay.
offering support and encouragement,
Right.
and being genuinely interested in the other person's journey.
I'm also thinking about the different stages of a connection.
Yeah.
You might start with a simple introduction.
Right.
But how do you move that connection forward in a way that feels natural and not forced?
That's where the art of follow-up comes in.
Okay.
Don't be afraid to reach out after an initial conversation,
Right.
perhaps share a relevant article,
Okay.
comment on something they've posted,
Yeah.
or simply check in to see how they're doing.
So it's about staying on their radar without being annoying or pushy.
Exactly. And as you continue to engage with someone,
Yeah.
you might find opportunities to collaborate,
Okay.
support each other's work,
Mm-hmm.
or simply share knowledge and insights that can benefit both of you.
I love the idea of thinking about networking as a long-term investment rather than a quick fix.
That's a great way to put it.
Thanks.
It's about building relationships that can grow and evolve over time,
Yeah.
not just collecting contacts for a one-time transaction.
This all makes so much sense, but I think it's easy to get overwhelmed by the sheer volume of information and advice out there about networking.
It is.
What are some simple, actionable steps that listeners can take today to start becoming more purposeful networkers?
Well, first and foremost, take an audit of your current network.
Okay.
Who are the people you already connect with?
Yeah.
And how can you deepen those relationships?
Right.
Are there people you've lost touch with
Mm-hmm.
who you'd like to reconnect with?
So start by nurturing the connections you already have before branching out to new ones.
Exactly. Then think about your goals and aspirations.
Okay.
Who are the people who can help you achieve those goals?
Mm-hmm.
And how can you connect with them?
Okay, so identify your target audience, so to speak.
Precisely. And don't be afraid to be specific.
Right.
If you're looking for a mentor in a particular field,
Right.
don't be shy about reaching out to people who have the experience and expertise you admire.
And how do you suggest approaching those people, especially if there's someone you admire but don't know personally?
Authenticity is key.
Okay.
Don't try to be someone you're not,
Right.
or pretend to have knowledge or connections you don't.
Yeah.
Be genuine, be humble,
Mm-hmm.
and be clear about what you're hoping to gain from the connection.
So no need to overthink it or try to be overly slick or polished.
Exactly. People can usually spot insincerity a mile away.
Yeah.
And remember, it's okay to start small.
Okay.
You don't have to ask for a huge favor right off the bat.
Right.
Simply expressing admiration for someone's work
Mm-hmm.
or asking a thoughtful question can be a great way to start a conversation.
So baby steps.
Yeah.
Build that rapport before jumping into a big ask. And what about those online networking platforms like WorkSMN or LinkedIn? Any tips for using those strategically?
Absolutely. Treat your profile as your online storefront.
Okay.
Make sure it's up to date,
Mm-hmm.
showcases your skills and experience,
Right.
and reflects your personality and values.
Okay.
And don't be afraid to engage with others' content.
Yeah.
Leave thoughtful comments.
Okay.
Share articles you find interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And participate in discussions relevant to your field.
So be an active participant, not just a passive observer.
Exactly.
Yep.
And when you do reach out to someone,
Yeah.
make sure your message is personalized,
Okay.
relevant,
Mm-hmm.
and offers something of value.
I'm also wondering about the whole follow-up conundrum. How do you strike that balance between staying top of mind and becoming a pest?
It's a delicate dance,
Yeah.
but a crucial one.
Okay.
Don't be afraid to follow up after an initial conversation,
Mm-hmm.
but be mindful of the other person's time and responsiveness
Right.
if they don't reply right away. Don't bombard them with messages.
Right.
Wait a week or two.
Right.
Then set a brief, friendly follow-up,
Okay.
perhaps referencing something you discussed previously or sharing a relevant article.
So persistence, but with a healthy dose of respect and patience.
Precisely.
Mhm.
And remember, networking isn't just about getting something. It's
Okay.
about giving back as well.
Okay.
Offer to help others,
Yeah.
share your knowledge and resources,
Mhm.
and be a supportive presence in their journey.
So it's about building a community, not just a contact list. I love that.
And as you continue to invest in those relationships,
Yeah.
you'll find that networking becomes less about transactional exchanges
Right.
and more about genuine connections that can enrich both your personal and professional life.
This has been such an eye-opening conversation. We've learned that building valuable social capital isn't about magic formulas or quick fixes.
Right.
It's about being intentional, strategic, and authentic in our approach to connecting with others.
And remember, it's a journey, not a destination.
Mhm.
The more we embrace the process of building meaningful relationships, the more rewarding and fulfilling our networking experiences will become.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into the world of online networking, I think the message is clear. Social capital doesn't just magically appear.
It doesn't.
It takes effort, strategy, and the willingness to connect with purpose.
And don't forget the most important ingredient,
What's that?
genuine human connection.
Couldn't agree more. So as you head into the new year, what steps can you take to be a more purposeful networker online? What kind of connections do you want to attract? And how can you use these platforms to create those valuable relationships?
We'd love to hear your thoughts. Share your own networking tips and experiences in the comments below.
Until next time, happy networking.